Thank you for staying with SABC News. This is SME on Point, and I am Liabo Setho. In the age of technology and digitization, printing may not always be considered worth the paper that it is written on. Even though embracing evolution and innovation is key to sustainability, but nothing beats quality. This week, camera colleague Mandlu Zintanzi and myself visited James Sibeko, the owner of Jabata Paper and Stationers. He's the owner of the only big black-owned paper merchant in the industry. Take a look at this. Emerging entrepreneurs are certainly looking in all directions to make the right kind of paper. This bodes true for James Sibeko, who has cut his way into being a paper merchant, the only big black player in the market. While breaking into the industry was tough, starting with 3 employees back in 2003, Jabata Paper and Stationers now boasts 100 staff members.
It is still being tough because those people, they've been in the industry for a very long time. And even our customers sometimes, they don't want to deal with a new customer. They want to deal with the old customer that they've been dealing with like 30 years ago. So to start introducing yourself is very difficult. But the good thing is those people are giving us the opportunity to be there. Once when they're in there, they don't regret.
The digital revolution is pushing businesses to adapt to change and be more innovative. It means that they have to look for every possible way to streamline operations while serving the customers' changing needs. While large paper makers and distributors like Mondi and SABC struggle in their main line of business, Sibeko's company houses at least 280 tons of paper in this digital age, feeding off the demand that he still receives.
In Africa, we're still going to be a long way using the paper, as much as we're not using the paper like we used to before. But what we need to do is now to come up with some sort of iPads, come with the computers, come with a lot of things which does not necessarily need paper, but at the same time it keeps our business moving. So therefore we cannot just survive by keeping the paper, selling the paper only. We need now to get to the next level of the printers, of the iPads, something that we'll use for the office, but not need to write down.
Do you think it's going to be easy?
It's not going to be easy, it's going to be tough because there's quite a lot. The competition is tough now, it's not like before. Now the people coming from abroad, they also come here with the new ideas. So therefore we need to upskill ourselves so that we can cope with those new ideas.
While Sibeko's entrepreneurial journey didn't make the papers, he recalls how doors were shut in his face when he sought funding from government financing agencies.
Not one institution managed to help me. I failed. There were a letter of regrets from all the institutions, from all the funders when I was borrowing the money.
What was their reason?
The reason was that the business does not make sense, according to them. The business, it will not be able to sustain itself at that particular time. Eventually, I even had to go to the commercial bank, which also helped me with a huge interest. But fortunately, I'm proud to tell you that to date, this building is 3,250 square meters is paid up. Now, those funders, they want to come and assist us. But they cannot assist us now because we bought the building already. So, but the main thing is how many people have been asking for funds and they could not access for funds.
Diversifying his trade through his office furniture business, he has stayed in the game through the most sophisticated tech. But Sibeko is concerned about the influx of cheap imports flooding the market.
So we are struggling from that perspective, whereby the imports, which they are allowed, they're flooding in South Africa. And most of the people, they are buying because of the price. They don't look at the quality.
SME on Point would like to hear how your business is being innovative in a world that is rapidly changing. Share your story and views on Jabata Paper and Stationery on say.le@sabc.co.za. Would love to hear from you. We indeed would like to hear from you. So being innovative is the essential for SMEs. In fact, they say that it should be a lifestyle. Experts say that many organizations turn to innovation as a rescue remedy when the business runs into trouble. Coenie Middel is the CEO of Middel & Partners, and he has graced us with his presence here today, and he's going to share his insights. Coenie, we've seen the story of Jabata Stationers and Furniture. Do you think that this business has a chance of surviving at a time where the digital revolution is taking form?
Hi, Liabo. Thank you very much. Yeah, you know what? the first thing is paper is a wonderful product in actual fact, you know, and we've got to reimagine it. But what is beautiful about that insert in the sense of saying, you know, innovation comes when you have constraints and when you have frictions, when you have desires from customers.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's working through those frictions of customers and desires and needs that they have and coming up with innovative solutions. But you're right, sometimes people only innovate in the sense when it's too late, you know, that 90% of companies in actual fact innovate too late.
So there are a lot of varying definitions of what innovation is. What is yours at your firm?
Oh, it's a new product, service or solution or engagement with a customer that solves a relevant friction. You know, you can't have innovation if there's no need or desire. But it's adopted by many. You can innovate all sorts of things, but if it's not accepted by people and not loved by them, or, you know, then it's not really innovation. It's got to be people will want to have it.
Yeah. So I asked 3 entrepreneurs who are based at the Tshimologong Innovation Precinct in Braamfontein to find out, you know, what their take is on innovation. You have your view of what innovation is. I have mine. They certainly have theirs. Let's take a look at what they think innovation is.
So innovation isn't really a catchphrase for makers or a thing we need to bring into our business, but it's just how we work. It's what we do day to day because it needs to work, it needs to be accessible, and it needs to benefit as many people as possible.
Innovation is really coming up with a creative way of doing things. It can be traditional, it can be technological, and it's not limited only to technology only. There's many ways of coming with innovative ideas.
Innovation is problem solving. At its core, it's finding unique and different ways to solve different problems as they arise. So it could be something as simple as shooting, editing, and marketing an entire film purely just from your phone, or basically, since we're in a digital world, giving publishing to Aerospaces, which just focused on the digital. So as new eras come about, new problems come through, and new needs, and innovation is how you solve those.
So what do you make of those 3 entrepreneurs at the Tshimologong Innovation Hub?
Yes, very valuable inputs, and I think that the key is that what is highlighted, many people think innovation is a new gadget.
Yes.
You know, and that's not that. Innovation is something, it's in terms of a new way of doing things, engaging. It could be a new product, it could be a new service, a solution, as I said. And I think that there's very relevant points here in terms of, but it has to be adopted.
Yeah.
And to solve people's problems, because that's really where innovation comes.
While we talk a lot about innovation, we don't often talk about the constraints, such as the time and the money part of developing a new product, for instance, that one that may not sell. Those are some of the disadvantages of being innovative. Do we discuss those a lot, and how do entrepreneurs or as small businesses get around that problem?
You know, when you have problems, then innovation helps you to solve those frictions that I talked about. That's really what innovation is. Because if there's no constraints and things like that, you know, innovation would be so easy for everybody. And I think that the key is that looking at your constraints, and you don't have funding, and you don't have people, and you don't have, we can think about so many issues and problems, but therefore you have to follow a process. Innovation is not something you just think about one day, I've got a wonderful product. There's a lot of thinking and a lot of doing to solve those issues, and when you come up with the right solution, that's really what innovation is.
Let's talk about the varying degrees of businesses. You know, you have people who sell, say, who sell Tupperware or who sell makeup, Avons, and how do those people become innovative in their sales business? Oh,
you know what is critical? Most of us, we don't really listen to our customers. We spend time with our friends and we think about new ways of doing things, or we follow others. But in actual fact, we don't really sitting down with our customers and really asking them the relevant questions, what their problems and concerns are. We want to tell them what we can offer them, but we're not listening. We've got to listen more, and we've got to identify the needs, because then solving those needs, we're innovative.
So I buy a product and I decide, okay, as a business, I want to develop this product further and I want to make it bigger. And then it doesn't sell. People don't like it. I've wasted a good 100,000. How do I get around that? How do I get that money back?
Oh, well, I think the first thing is that the way that the process that the person followed is flawed. Most people think about an idea and they want to run away with it. Big mistake. Innovation, what I call the front end of innovation, needs careful planning in terms of, because when you're bringing a product to the market, you should have tested it with your customers.
Okay.
You should have had feedback from them, and you should have prototyped, and you should have, you should have thought about many. The best ideas are when you have many ideas and pick the best ones. So most people fail because they're not taking innovation in an innovative, processed way.
Okay.
It's not like I'm sitting on my couch and thinking about a wonderful idea. There's a process that you have to follow.
All right. Coenie, so you have come up with 5 tips for us and small businesses who are watching us today on their innovation journey. Let's take a look at the video wall and take us through how you say people should never innovate alone. Why, if I'm a sole business owner?
Yeah, but we should innovate together. And I tell you why. It's not about what you think is a good idea. You've got to have many ideas, and when you have many people that's giving you ideas and you're selecting the best ideas, that's where you really come with innovation. So never innovate alone. Involve other people. Maybe it's your colleagues or friends, maybe it's your customers, etc. And really, that's what I mean. Innovate together with a lot of people, creating lots of ideas, hundreds of ideas, but only picking the ones that are really beautiful.
Great. Let's take a look at the second one.
Wow.
Innovate in a structured way. What is a structured way? I'm assuming that if I'm innovating, my head will be all over the place. There won't be any structure there in any way.
Correct. So you've got to follow a process. It's like a journey. Innovation is like a journey. You've got to have a start and you've got to finish. And when you start, you've got to have, okay, when do I want to bring these products to the market? How much money do I have to spend? Maybe I don't have any money. What are the constraints, right? And what is the results that I really want to have at the end of the day? Do I want to influence a lot of people? Do I want to make lots of money? But there's a process, and most people don't go through a process. So we also need to observe and learn. We need to look at the world. Many people come to me and they think that they've got a wonderful idea. But many people have already thought about it. You've got to raise the ideas, test the idea to your customers, and then finally bring those ideas in terms of prototyping before you really take it to market. So innovate in a structured process way.
Beautiful. Let's take a look at the last 3 innovation tips. The third one would be solve irrelevant friction. A lot of people talk that if you're going to start a business, make sure that you're solving a problem. Is this what you are referring to?
Absolutely. You cannot innovate if there's no reason for you innovating something that nobody has a desire or a need for. Solve the irrelevant friction and where there's a need and a desire.
Beautiful. Let's take a look at the fourth one. The fourth innovation tip is use the voice of the customer. How do I do that?
Yes, so talk to your customers. Talk to the market, understand where their needs are, because that's a very, very important point of identifying the frictions, etc. Most people don't do this. They don't listen. They don't, they want to come up with ideas, but talk to your customers first.
So the views of the customers matter.
Absolutely.
And finally, bring back the business. I assume that I already have the business. How do I do that?
So when you are innovating, right, you've got to make sure that will result in good business for you. Because otherwise, how will your business survive at the end of the day? You could come up with some cool things, but you have a business to run, and therefore you've got to make sure that business, there's a business case, and you're making money from it.
Beautiful. Coenie, thank you so much for your insight. It's been a real pleasure to have you in studio today, talking about innovation, and I'm hoping that our viewers at home will be able to take a look at all the tips that Coenie has shared with us about your innovation journey, listening to your customers, and making sure that you are not doing alone. And we will have this entire slot uploaded on the SABC digital platform, on YouTube, and on all our relevant platforms, as well as our app. Well, after the break, we cross to Books on Point with Nastasia Arends this afternoon. She'll be chatting with Hlumelo Biko, the author of Africa Reimagined, coming up after the break.